Today's episode is sponsored by the 2023 Rhode Island Business Summit, presented by Stella Business Concepts on September 21st at the Event Factory in Warwick, Rhode Island. Join us to connect with B2B vendors, amazing networking opportunities, and guest speakers like Patricia Raskin, who will talk to you about podcasting for your business, leadership with Mary Sullivan, or customer retention with me, Erica Sicosio, and more. We have panelists, and we also have a very fun, amazing lunch and learn with Rhode Island comic Poppy Champlin. Tickets are on sale now. Visit our website at www.stellabusinessconcepts.com. See you there. Hey guys, must be Monday. Erica Sicosio here with Practical Biz Podcast. I'm super excited to be joined with Kate King, also AKA called Krunchy Kate. Kate's going to talk with us a little bit today about why many businesses struggle with marketing. So Kate is an entrepreneur and owns her own company called Krunchy Kate, which has been in business for just about a year. But in December, she decided to go all in on that business and do that full time. But prior to that, she worked for another company called Hulu Frog, where she did marketing, and she has an extensive background in marketing and helping small businesses brand themselves and get exposure through the community, through events and marketing efforts. And so we're going to talk a little bit today about why businesses struggle with marketing, and then we'll learn a little bit more about how you use this to implement it in your own business. Awesome. So Kate, I did a little intro, but is there anything that you want to add? Because I'm sure you're more than just Krunchy Kate in that 2-second intro.
I have extensive knowledge with healthy meal prep, nutritious food. I really cater to dietary needs, dietary restrictions. I worked for years in a gluten-free cafe, and I learned all about the body and different allergies, how they affect the body. So I really take all that training and implement that with my clients. I really love to share that healthy food doesn't have to be taste like cardboard. It can be delicious too.
Yeah. And I love the fact that there are so many women-owned businesses on our show. I think that women empowerment is amazing, and I think women coming together discussing business is something that more communities need to do.
Absolutely.
Because there are so many smart women that are running successful businesses. So I really want to thank you for being here today and sharing your knowledge.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, about marketing. But before we do that, we're going to market ourselves. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button right there in the corner. We're going to wait. All right. Thank you. Also, leave us a comment below if you love this content or want to give us suggestions on what you'd like to see in upcoming shows. Please do that. So, Kate, so we talked about, your experience in marketing. So we'll keep it down to, five things.
Yeah.
So let's talk about consistency.
Yeah. So putting yourself out there is one thing, but if you put yourself out there in the beginning of the month and then you fall short, people are going to forget. They want to see a familiar face. So maybe it's not the first, second, or third time they see you post, but the familiar face and the consistency of posting, when they go to look for a service, they'll remember you when they're searching for
top of mind.
Yeah. So really stay consistent. It might not be that you get a client every time you post, but the more you post, the more eyes are going to see your content. The more times people are going to bring up your name when they're talking to somebody else. So it's all about putting yourself out there, being consistent, really targeting your audience, know who you're working with. So just keep it consistent.
Yeah. And I think too, consistency means more than just the social media aspect of it. I think it is also important to get out in your community, to network with people.
Absolutely.
To work with other businesses that are complementary. To your business for sure, right?
Yeah, we just, I was actually a part of a wellness fair last week, and it was awesome. I mean, I wasn't selling anything at the fair, but I was out there to get my name out there. It was all like-minded people, everybody in the wellness industry. So we made great connections. I might not have sold anything, but the people, maybe somebody that walked in the door, they know somebody that's looking for personal chef services, or they're going to have a party next month, and they'll remember from seeing me. So it's really important that even if you're not making paying $1 every time to really get out there and be in the community.
Yeah. So, Kate, what would you say would be your top 5 places where people should, I mean, there's probably a lot, but top 5 places that you feel that brand should be making their presence known? Like what vehicles would you say?
I mean, obviously you have Instagram, you have Facebook, Pinterest is another great one. And then, finding those local boards that are in small coffee shops or the library. Print out some of your business cards or flyers and tack them up. Go to your local coffee shops where you know that your target audience is and see if you can hang a flyer in the window. It doesn't always have to be social media. Also, networking events. Bring those cards, bring those postcards, and make sure that you're seeing and getting your content in front of as many people as possible.
Yeah, I went to a Chamber of Commerce networking event 2 weeks ago, and it felt so great to be with other business owners and, like you said, making those connections. I do a lot of B2B stuff, and so that was just, not only was it great to be around other entrepreneurs, but it was also being around my target market.
Yeah, and it's always awesome to connect with other people that are in the same, not even the same field maybe, but other entrepreneurs to get ideas of what they're doing. So it's great to pick each other's brains and really make those connections.
Yeah, and I think most small businesses, they really do struggle with their marketing because they don't have a marketing plan.
Right.
And so they just think, all right, well, everybody's on Instagram. Let me put a post on Instagram, right? It's not well thought out. You don't think about your brand, which we'll talk about that later. But yeah, you're not thinking about what is the message. It's just, typically buy from me, buy from me, buy from me.
And a lot of time Instagram, I mean, I use Instagram a lot, but a lot of the people that I am on Instagram with are all over the world. A lot of times it's maybe just to make some other connections, but Facebook is great for me. And I really target the Facebook groups. So those mom parent groups or the specific town groups. So not only just posting on Facebook, but sharing into those target audience groups.
I couldn't agree more with the Facebook groups. I feel like what's nice about them is with the Facebook group, there's so much talking back and forth, and it's usually the same people in that group. So you start to build relationships with them. And then if they don't remember your name, they are able to find you back in the thread and go, hey, I remember you said you offered blank, blank, blank. I'm looking for that now. I wasn't then. And then they can come back. So you're still there. So, and
planting seeds,
planting the seeds and then cultivating them. And it's funny because the last 2 folks that we had on our podcast earlier, said the same thing about Facebook. I can't say it enough, and it's not like I pay you guys to say it. I'm not endorsed by Facebook in any way, but most of our sales do come from either Facebook groups or our own Facebook pages. And although we keep getting diverted to these other platforms, the money truly for my business comes in through Facebook.
Well, and like I said, Instagram is great. Instagram's great for network marketing, connecting, but Facebook's great for targeting. They really have those. It's more of a local connection that you're getting on Facebook.
Yeah. So if you're a local business, small business, that's on, located on Main Street,
right?
You need those local connections. If you're more online, then certainly platforms that are much bigger would better suit your business. But again, talking to our small mom and pop folks, really Facebook groups,
right, those
Facebook pages,
groups.
they really, really do help catapult your business.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about content. So if I post 20 very boring pieces of content, will that help my business?
No, you want to post content that's relevant to your base, to who your client base is, so, and keep it consistent, maybe the same vibe for everything. So we were talking about Canva. I make a lot of my posts through Canva. I use it to make a lot of graphics. And on Canva, I created a brand board. So I have my colors, my fonts, all of that on there. So then when I'm posting content, making marketing creations.
You're easily,
you're easily pulling from that, so you're not searching through 9,000 colors.
And for your
time.
customer, you're easily identifiable, right?
Yeah.
If somebody held up a card with red and white and they say, "What brands come to your mind?" You're going to say Coca-Cola. Probably within the first 2 or 3 breaths, it's going to be Chick-fil-A, Coca-Cola. Like
I was thinking KFC.
Yeah, right. So there's certain brands that immediately you think of those colors.
Absolutely.
They've branded them. They're just colors, but they are branded in your brain, right?
Yes.
So, and then thinking about how not only the colors and the fonts, but how do you make the customer feel? How do they feel about your brand when they hear your name?
Well, so you want. Well, I would hope that people think healthy when they hear my brand, but you want to catch them with things that they need. So I like to post recipes, things that they can make at home. So maybe they're not hiring me right now, but they can follow along and create some of my recipes that I've shared online. So then when they're thinking maybe about maybe for a party or something.
Do you do cooking videos?
I haven't, but I'm not opposed to the idea. I would love to shoot them in somebody else's kitchen because mine's so tiny.
Yeah.
But, I do cooking parties. If somebody wants to learn how to cook, I can do that as well. I just show like the recipes and ingredients online, but I haven't gone into cooking.
Haven't gone that far yet. But I mean, that seems like that would be a natural fit, or even some reels of your plates of cooking in the pan. I think too, when you think about like how you feel about something, when you think about, businesses or brands like Disney or, Subaru. I always go to Subaru, right? When I say Subaru, what do you automatically in your brain, what do you think?
I think of taking a road trip through the mountains.
Yeah. Right. And safety and love, right? Love is a Subaru, right? So I just think there's certain ways that you want to think about how do you want your customer to feel when they hear your company, they hear about your company, and then your personality too, right? Your personality should come through, right? Crunchy Kate, you already know, she's crunchy, she's fun, she's holistic, she's laid back, right?
Yeah.
So I think that those are things that you have to think about, even like with our brand Practical Biz. Like there are many business shows where people come in the suit and the tie and the pearls and the heels and all. That doesn't mean that they're more educated. And speaking a lot of jargon does not really help most small business owners. So we just figured we're just going to make it practical. Strip it down. I'm a normal person. You're a normal person. Maybe we make $2 million a year. Maybe make $3 million. It doesn't matter. Still a normal person. Still, it can be good content without being fake or jargony or, over the top. Overcomplicated, right? I feel like, so you want to do that for your customer as well. You want to make sure that it's simple enough for everybody to get the message, that the message is clear, that the message is consistent, that the message is frequently put out into the ways that you network and market your business. So what about not only with the content, but like sharing tips, sharing strategies? Like how do you do that with your company?
Like sharing food tips or sharing?
Yeah, just any kind of tips on where to buy the best organic food.
Yeah, so actually I love to save money. So like we eat well in my home, but I pinch pennies where we can, So stocking the pantry for me is like budget. I buy in bulk. So there's certain things that I shop on Amazon. It's called Anthony's Goods. They're an organic company, but they send everything in like 3-pound bags. So you save money because you're buying more up front, but then I portion it down into jars and I keep that in my pantry. Or if you're local to us, Ocean State Job Lot, they are amazing for pantry staples. You're going to get honey, you're going to get date syrup, you're going to get nuts, all of that so much cheaper than if you go to Stop and Shop. So I eat really well, but also know where to shop, where to buy those items to save money, you know? We might go every other week going grocery shopping for like meat and produce and stuff. But if you stock your pantry, you can really stretch that and really. So I do share a lot of those tips online. Not only Ocean State Job Lot, but Aldi is a great one for anybody. Their prices really can't be beat. So it's really about like no, you don't have to spend a lot to eat well.
Yeah. So I think that is a great marketing strategy as well to when you're putting together your content of what you're putting out, educating your consumers was kind of my long way around that. Yeah. But educating your consumers on what it is, not only that you offer, but why it's good and how it helps, and then the supporting things that support that, right? You don't work for Ocean State Job Lot. You're not endorsed by them,
Not
right?
at all, but but really, like, there's so many people that don't go there because it's not high end or whatever, but you can find the same Bob's Red Mill on their shelf for a fraction of the price than if you go to Dave's, and it's going to be double the price, you know? So shop smart. You don't have to spend a lot to eat well.
Yeah. So what about how do the folks listening to us determine who their audience is? What's your best advice?
So you really got to find who your ideal client is. So I know that I offer personal chef services. It's not cheap, but I look for people that spend a lot going out to eat. So my services might not be cheap, but it's going to be cheaper than going out to eat five nights a week, So you want to target your demographic. You want to know where your ideal client lives and target. So I have, a certain demographic that I target to. So I keep in those same 4 Facebook group town pages that I know that I want to attract clients from. Mm-hmm. And maybe, again, they might not hire me today, tomorrow, but 6 months down the road, they'll be like, Krunchy Kate, I keep seeing things. Her food looks delicious. Now I need that service. So it's really about honing in on who you think your ideal candidate is and really targeting that demographic.
Yeah. And then I think going back and looking at the data, right? So over a year, who I think is my market isn't always who my market is, right? We've had this conversation before. But going back and looking at your data, who is spending the most money with you and where are they and how frequently are they returning for your services and all that, also is an excellent way to really fine tune a business to be as profitable as possible. So let's talk about branding. So everybody uses the word branding. What does that mean?
What you envision your business to look like, to feel like, I chose earthy colors because Krunchy Kate, I want people to think of like produce and herbs and that when they think of me. So I really chose colors that align with that. But it's really...
You didn't pick fire engine red?
Nope. I did not. Red's my least favorite color.
Yeah.
But then you stick to that. So again, talking about Canva, like I have a brand board on Canva and I use that. I use the colors, the fonts. So all of that correlates to your brand, your image, how you want other people to see your business.
Yeah. So those are excellent tips, and I appreciate that. If you don't have a brand board, you should probably get to putting one together. That will help you make sure that as you're doing your consistency through your messaging, making sure as you create content that it is in fact saying what you need it to say and invoking the feelings and the connections to your target audience.
And it's all cohesive. Like it all looks like it belongs together.
And it looks professional.
Right.
Because again, this is what the big companies pay marketing strategists to do for them. You may not have that in your budget. So you get, as good at it and as skilled at as you can. And you continue to fine tune it until you get to a point where that when people see that font, that photo, that logo, they think of you.
Right. And it can all start with a vision board. A brand board can start with a vision board. Pick different things that you like. Pick images that you see as your business and kind of shape that into a brand board. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time, and it can evolve over time. My website has evolved. My colors have evolved. Yeah. Things change, but just keeping all that same vibe for your whole business, it really, it makes it look a lot more professional.
Yeah. And you brought up a great point about a website. So if you're struggling with your website, it might be good to, book a consultant or somebody to come in and just give you some feedback on what could be improved on your website. Is it cohesive? And then you know what you want in your mind. And so when you look at your website, you might see that. But having, maybe a few people who've never heard of your brand take a look at it and give you feedback, which is one of the things we had done here. I would say maybe episode 3 or 4, we had a listening party and we had 12 people at this table and we played them our first few podcasts and we let them rip it apart and they did a great job. But we gained a lot of knowledge from that. So I think even doing things like that, where you're working and collaborating with other small business owners
Absolutely.
and say, hey, this is my new marketing stuff. Take a look at it. What, is there anything missing? Is there any feedback you have? And do that. Also, even with your great customers, you know me better than anybody.
Do you get my vibe from this?
Right. Yeah. Do you get my vibe? Does this, all of this messaging seem correct and accurate with what we are providing to you as a service? So before we wrap it up, I want to go to talk a little bit about, we talked about your marketing part. Let's talk a little bit about what made you jump and now you're full into your business.
So like you said, I was the managing editor for the local Hula Frog site where I connected businesses. And I was there for 2.5 years, and after Christmas, 2 days after Christmas, they told us that they were being acquired by another company. So for the past year, I kind of put Krunchy Kate on the back burner because that was very consistent. I knew I was getting a paycheck, but I really had to just jump all in, and I decided if I'm not going to do it now, it's never going to happen. So I really dove in, went to networking events, did the holistic wellness fair. For me, I have to make this happen, because if not, I'm going to have to go work for somebody else and get a job. So I really need to make this happen because I want this to be my career. I love serving people. I love helping people change their diets for the better. I love introducing new foods. So I really put myself out there. I really upped my marketing game. I took all the advice from you and really went through my website and made all the edits and really flipped it totally around in the past month and a half.
Yeah.
So, just really put myself out there with everything.
Well, I think too, and it's funny because I feel like almost every time I get someone to this table, there's such a common thread. So yeah, it's those life changes that happen. I literally was just talking about this in another episode. It's a major life change that happens. Hula Frog decided they were merging with someone else, and that was just the thing that kicked you over the edge.
Right. They said
to give you that little push that you needed.
Right. She's like, you can come over to the new company and start with us here, but I'm not going to do both businesses really well. I realized that in the past year, I couldn't juggle both and do them really well. So now with them taking Hula Frog away, it really made me change my focus. So maybe it wasn't the time that I thought that it needed to happen, but it did need to happen. So, maybe everything doesn't happen the way you want, but everything happens for a reason. So.
Yeah. So I totally agree with that. So share with the listening audience where they can find you. Sure, 30-second commercial.
KrunchyKate.com. I have a blog. I also have a contact form there. If you're looking for services, you can fill out the form. It sends an email right to me, or you can email me directly at info@KrunchyKate.com. I'm also on Facebook, Krunchy Kate LLC, and on Instagram at Krunchy_Kate, all with K's.
All right. This is Erica, a Practical Biz podcast. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so today. This is how we are able to support our Rhode Island local small businesses. And then we also love all of our fans throughout all of the different states. And then our friends over in Germany and Ireland. We love you too. Thank you for tuning in. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me.
Are you a business owner? Are ready to get your startup? Well, started. Have a burning question you'd like us to answer? Want to know more about the services we offer? Or register for upcoming workshops and events? Looking to book a guest speaker? Or like to be a guest on the Practical Biz podcast? Visit our website at stellabusinessconcepts.com.